possible. And if you actually spell it out, it says impossible. My talk today is about making the impossible possible, because anything is possible. So I'm Yamilca Rodriguez, and I'm from Venezuela. And I believe that everyone here has the possibility to do anything they want in the world. So let me tell you why. When I was 8 years old, it was the first time I stepped foot into the US. And, you know, my father had this amazing opportunity to study his PhD at UCSD. And it was like this experience opened my eyes to things that I never imagined before. And then after 6 years, we moved back. And then a year later, my dad was offered a job in the US. So we flew back to the US, and I was so excited. I thought we were gonna live there forever. And I was gonna have my dream of going to college come true in the US. And my father, after a year, said, we're going home. And that dream of going to college in the US was stripped away from me. It was like, you know, taking a bite of a cookie and setting it down for a second, and when you go back to finish it, it's gone. And you're like, where'd it go? And so I remember when I was flying back and I looked out the window of the airplane, and as we landed, my heart felt really heavy. And I didn't understand why. But have you ever had a dream where you thought anybody, you know, people would say, what are you thinking? Can you really make that happen? But something inside you told you to keep holding on to it, that you could make it happen? Well, that happened to me. I couldn't get that dream off my head. And so what I did was I decided to make it my mission to go back to the US to go to college. And I took every single day a step towards that vision. And guess what? I was on a plane back to the US on my own this time. And as I looked in the window, I felt light. My heart felt light. And I knew I could take flight. And that's when the impossible becomes possible. A few years after that, I was in college and going to college in the US, and I was studying industrial design. But let me explain to you. A lot of people don't know what industrial design is. So industrial design is product design. So a car, an airplane, a phone, anything that's three-dimensional is industrial design. Let me give you an example. So if you look at a car, everything that's on the outside, the colors, the shape, that's industrial design. Everything that's in the inside, the ergonomics, how you touch the buttons, that's an industrial designer. Now what you can't see is the engineer, right? The engine, the mechanics of it, that's what the engineer does. So the Industrial Design Organization was putting on a competition, a design competition, and there were going to be 3 awards given. And they were going to give you 3 months to do it, a design from beginning to end. Now, I was in a classroom of 39 students, and I was one of 5 women, and nobody in the class thought I could win this award. Now, I really wanted to win this award. But, you know, at that time, I felt like I wasn't smart as everybody else. I felt like, you know, English was my second language, and my family was so far away, and I still was settling into the American way of life. But I had an idea. I had this great idea, and I knew that to win that competition, I had to make something that nobody had done before. So I did a hybrid between a jet ski and a submarine, and I combined them together. And so what happened was, you know, I worked really hard. You know, I consulted with engineers. I also researched, and I did tons of drawings, and I had a prototype, and I even did a animation to show the feasibility of it. So the day of the competition, everybody looks at my design and they're like, this girl from Venezuela did this? And they were like, wow, this is so innovative. And so the day of the competition, I remember there were like 100 people, right? There were the students and the professors and the judges and guests as well. And so what happened was, you know, they were gonna announce the winner, and I just stood there and kind of looked down at the ground and just closed my eyes for a minute to just hear, hoping that my name was gonna come. And then all of a sudden they say, Yamilca Rodriguez. I was so excited. But there will always be times where, you know, people can't see what you can see. And don't ever let that stop you, because I believe that you have the power to make the impossible possible. Now, fast forward a few years. I've been working almost 15 years at one of the top branding companies in the world, the Procter & Gamble company. And that is the best place to make the impossible possible. I also learned how to bring people's visions to life, you know, creating the right brand. So, but you know, there was something missing in my life, and I didn't really know what it was until I met this amazing Brit living in Kentucky. And so what I did was I decided to leave the corporate world and start my new married life in Louisville, Kentucky. And I took everything that I had learned over the years and all the knowledge, and I created a methodology. And it was based on Jungian archetypes. Now, Jungian archetypes are based on psychology. And psychology is all about bringing the unconscious to the conscious. Okay? And so the brand archetypes is really to bring your true essence to life and focus on the right brand, the right audience, and the right message. So I decided to really try to, you know, it's like one thing that you should always do when you don't know what to do is ask yourself, what should I do? And if you've never done it, you should try it out, because some weird things come up. And at that time, what came up for me was brand and fashion. And I was like, brand and fashion. And that's where Louisville Bespoke was born. And I helped designers and photographers and different models really understand their true essence so we could amplify their brand, because I knew they had so many possibilities within them. Now, I'd never produced a fashion show ever, and nobody really thought I could. But guess what? We had 300 people come to the show. Now, I remember this. It was like you had the runway. It was a long runway, and there were people sitting on the seats, and even the media came. I was so surprised. And there were lights just like these. And then all of a sudden, you know, the models started going down the runway. The music was playing. And there were 50 models, so one after the other. But I remember the last model. She had this amazing dress. It was fitted. It was this full black feather dress. It had a tail in the back. It was inspired by Alexander McQueen. If you don't know about Alexander McQueen, you should look him up. He's pretty amazing. And, you know, it was just like that moment. And as I was walking down the runway as the producer, it was so surreal. It was just, I don't even have words for it. It was very surreal. But I wanted to say, hey, Mom and Dad, I made it. And that's, you know, all you need is to take that vision and take a step towards that vision every single day. Now, these are just 3 stories out of many stories that I lived through. From product designer to fashion show producer, this little girl from Venezuela who just wanted to make an impact in the world and work hard and not let anybody tell her that she couldn't do it. So let me give you 3 tips to make the impossible possible. The first one is have a dream. Now, it can be a big dream or a little dream. So it could be like, I'm going to go to Mars, or I'm just going to win a competition. But so think about that. Like, what do you want? What's your impossible? Think about this right this second, because I want to tell you that if you dream it, you can become it. The second one is work hard and take a steps towards your vision every single day. Because Pew Research found that 73% of Americans believe that hard work is part of success. And so if you work hard and relentlessly and move towards that vision every single day, that gives purpose and meaning to your life. And that meaning equals anything is possible for you. And then the third one is celebrate possibilities. So Fred Ryan, he's a social psychologist, says that when you savor the good stuff, you buffer the bad, and then you build resilience. And then that spark of positive emotions really help you manage stress. So celebrate every single one of your possibilities. So, but there's one more secret I have for you. So, don't ever stop dreaming, because I still have impossibles to make into possibles. I have a dream to help inspire women and help them build their personal brand. I have a dream to speak all over the world. I have a dream to meet Richard Branson and get to go to Necker Island and brainstorm innovations. I have a dream to meet Gwyneth Paltrow because she embodies the vision that I have for myself. I want to build a wellness brand because I want to help people get healthy. And so let me just finish with this. Whatever you do, don't ever say the word impossible. And what I mean by that is, as I said at the beginning of the talk, I am POSSIBLE spells I am possible. And I believe you are possible too.